Every form of auto racing has its big race of the year. On the Winston Cup circuit, it's at Daytona. For championship cars, it's Indianapolis. And for dirt modifieds, the big race is run in Syracuse, a town in central New York rich in sports history. And during one special week in October, it's known as the dirt racing capital of the world. Hello once again, everybody, and welcome to the Miller American 300. My name is Doug Logan, and joining me is the editor of Stock Car Racing magazine, Dick Berggren. And Dick, with a purse of $300,000, this is the richest dirt track race in the world.
For the driver who wins this afternoon, Doug, immortality is guaranteed. No matter what else a man could do in his career, if he is a dirt track driver, winning here at Syracuse is the pinnacle. It's the ultimate. But today presents special challenges. Last night, we had heavy rain. It has changed the surface of the racetrack. No one knows how the cars will really behave. Many of the teams have skunned their cars with new bodies. Many of the teams have new engines with Pontiac cylinder heads, and they don't know exactly how that's all going to go. And most importantly, the length of the race has been changed from 125 to 188 laps. This will probably mandate 2 pit stops. No one knows the smart way to go around here and do those pit stops. The dice will be rolled today, and a lot of drivers are going to try for that immortality.
Indeed, pit stop execution and strategy will be crucial. We have more on that story from Andy Fusco.
Thanks, Doug. And this race could well be decided on pit road today. Bob McCready lost this race in 1985 due to faulty pit strategy. He won it last year because of excellent pit strategy. And today, pit stops are twice as important as they've ever been in Miller 300 history, because today there are 2 pit stops for the first time in the race's history. Another important question today is, how far can the modifieds go attrition-wise? 188 miles is the longest a modified car has ever been asked to go. How many cars will be running at the end is an important question, and we'll know that answer a couple hours from now.
The field here in Syracuse now starts to pull away from in front of the gigantic grandstand at the New York State Fairgrounds. And what is turning out to be a lovely day.
And it really wasn't supposed to have been a good day, Doug. The weather forecast for today was rain all day, and when the competitors showed up here this morning, indeed it was raining. But the clouds have left. We've got a sunny sky. We've got a lot of mud around the racetrack, and fans are walking around here with deep boots and rubbers and that sort of thing. But the important thing is, it looks like we're going to have the weather to get all 188 laps in. You see there the blue sky. It's now deep in the autumn, and the color of the trees has changed. Look at the enormous crowd that is assembled here at Syracuse, New York. This event has been going on since 1972, and many of the fans in the grandstands have seen every one of these fall classic events at Syracuse. The entire grandstand is sold out. People are sitting on scaffolds, they're sitting on top of campers. There's hardly room for another person all the way around the speedway.
And our front row, a couple of 4-time Miller American race veterans. Doug Hoffman sits on the pole, and Billy Pouch on the outside of row number 1. Moving to the second row, Elvin Felty out of Lebanon, Pennsylvania, 1977 Rookie of the Year of this event. Meanwhile, Chuck McKee, number 19, is on the outside of row 2. The third row, we have the first of 5 former winners in this field out of Kinnelon, New Jersey. Number 20, Brett Hearn, the 1985 champion of the Miller American. Outside of row 3 is Mike Perotti, number 35, out of Morrisonville, New York. On to row 4, and we have our defending champion out of Watertown, New York, Barefoot Bob McCready, in his 6th race here at Syracuse. He finished first last year, 3rd in 85, 11th back in 84. And row 4 on the outside of Bob McCready, it's Steve Barrett. On to row 5, and it's 97, Mike Romano, and the 30 of Ken Brightbill. In row 6, out of Sellersville, Pennsylvania, the 1986 Rookie of the Year of this race, Tom Mayberry. And outside of him, Danny Johnson. And some folks feel that Danny Johnson is a car to watch here this afternoon. Row 7, 2-time winner Jack Johnson in the 12A out of Duanesburg, New York. A winner in 1979 and again in 84 in his 15th Miller American. Outside of Jack Johnson, it's Frank Cozy. Row 8, Billy Decker and Glenn Fitzcharles. Row 9, it's another former winner from 1983 out of Phelps, New York, Alan Johnson. Steve Botcher is outside of him. Then it's Lynn Huff and Ray Bateman in row 10. Row 11, Jimmy Horton and Lou Blaney. Row 12, Tom Wilson and Chuck Akulis. Row 13, Toby Tobias and another two-time winner, Merv Treichler. On to row 14, and it's Scott Kania and Jimmy Bigelow. Row 15, Kenny Tremont and Joe Plazik. Row 16, Tommy Corellis and Fritz Eppright. On to row 17, Harvey Hayner and Riel LaFrance. Jeff Hetzler and Ralph Hetzler make up row 18. Row 19, it's Flying Brian Stevens and Ken Bren Jr. And as the cars pass along in front of the grandstand for this one more time, the fans stand and wave their hats and their scarves and their programs. One final wish of good luck to the drivers. Row 20, Phil Beaver and Charlie Rudolph. The 21st row, it's Tim Dwyer and Dave Leckenby. Row 22, Rick Jeffrey and Ed Marshall. In the 23rd row, DeSantis and Urich. Row 24, C.D. Coville and Carl Van Horn. And the 25th and final row, Maynard Ferret and Dave Late. 50 competitors making up the field for the 1987 Miller American 300.
It's going to be a strong start for sure, Doug. When they dump the cars into the first turn, it will be flat out. This is a very, very difficult track to pass on. Everybody knows that the first turn of the first lap is extremely important. All eyes will be glued on that position. A tremendous amount of money up for grabs this afternoon. The winner will earn as much as $75,000. Second place, $30,000. They are now getting ready for a start as they enter the third turn, heading to the fourth. Doug, call the start.
The field comes around turn number 4. Starter Gary Watson has the green flag displayed, and the 1987 Miller American 300 is on. Doug Hoffman takes the lead into turn 1. Billy Pauch settles in second. Elvin Felty is third. And Brett Hearn is in fourth as they head down the backstretch. And Brett Hearn is making a move on Felty and looks like he's got third place.
Hoffman looking extremely strong there, but watch Brett Hearn work his way through. That is one of the new style bodies that Hearn is driving. He is car number 20, the white automobile, charging up on the outside. Hearn trying with that new style car.
Barefoot Bob McCready is now in 5th place behind Felty. Hearn in 3rd. The leader continues to be Doug Hoffman as we are now 1 lap complete and the entire field has made it around.
And that is almost a miracle. We are still watching Brad Hearn. He almost won this race last year. There's a big hole that he just went through. Hearn almost won this race last year, had it in the bag until an oil line broke and spewed hot oil on his foot. Meanwhile, back to the leader. That's Hoffman. He had a tougher race last year. He crashed very, very hard between the first and second turn, turned the car over and destroyed it. Oh, we have a spin. Trouble in turn 1. That's car number 86, Elvin Felty. Felty in the wall, a gentle hit. No serious damage done, but that will bring out the yellow flag. First yellow flag on the speedway. We are only 2 laps into this event.
Elvin's best finish was a 3rd place finish in 1977. He was the rookie of the year of that race out of Lebanon, Pennsylvania. Elvin is in his 6th race. He's got the car straightened around. I wonder if it can continue.
Well, it didn't look like there was too much significant damage to the car. He did back it in slowly. Didn't seem as if he hit it with one of the wheels. And that's key, Doug. If you hit the wall with one of the wheels, it'll cause a suspension misalignment. He's now rolling away. He's going to be okay as we take a look at Doug Hoffman on the point. Hoffman had never led a lap at Syracuse until today.
Earlier, John Snyder talked with Doug Hoffman.
We're real satisfied with getting on the pole. You know, we worked hard, and my owners spent a lot of money, and you know, it's a good feeling to be sitting on the pole for Sunday's race.
Doug, starting on the pole, getting qualified the first day, that's important at Syracuse, isn't it?
Well, it takes a lot of pressure off, you know. once you get locked into your top 6 slot and you're all set to go for Sunday, you know, you can just work on making sure the car's prepared right, and you don't have to worry about even, you know, some guys are still worried about getting in the show. At least that's one thing that's off our mind, and we can just concentrate on what we're going to do during the race and make sure the car's perfectly ready to go.
Meanwhile, Felty is speeding along the front straightaway as the cars are set to go into turn 3. He may be able to rejoin this field as the green flag flies once again from starter Gary Watson. 3 laps are complete.
What a beautiful sight. Tremendous field of automobiles. These are the best dirt track drivers in the world. Many of these competitors have brought brand new automobiles, and here we're ready for a restart.
Once again, it's Doug Hoffman pulling away. Brett Hearn trying to make a pass on the inside of Billy Pauch, and he dips low into turn 1. He's got it. And meanwhile, a massive pileup in turn 4. We can count at least 4 cars in one bunch. There's another bunch of about 3 cars, and this could be a mishap as the green flag came out on lap 4. That could wipe out about 7 or 8 cars. I see 3 different batches of cars, each having at least 2 or 3, and one man involved for sure is Billy Decker, number 91.
Yeah, he's lost his right front wheel. He is surely through for the day. There is no way they can fix that. We have cars already filing into the pit area to get work done to try to get things squared away on their cars. Meanwhile, the track is still thoroughly clogged. It's almost impossible to get through that 3rd and 4th turn area. Right now, we are looking at car 87. That's Ralph Petzler. They're working on the front end of that automobile. He was obviously involved. That's one of the new style bodies. You'll notice how aerodynamic the shape of that thing is. It's almost like a soup bowl turned upside down.
We also know that Frank Cozy was involved.
So was Toby Tobias Jr. He is still up there as well. There's just a whole flock of automobiles in the 3rd and 4th turn area. There you see them. 17 is Tobias Jr. Nobody apparently injured up there. What's happening here is the outside is extremely slippery. Because of the rain yesterday and last night and even early this morning, the cars have only run in a relatively narrow groove, and once you get out of that groove, it is virtually impossible to maintain traction. The track itself, although it is physically wide, dimensionally wide, the racing groove is extremely narrow, and when somebody gets in trouble, hang on. They're almost certain at this early stage in the race with this many cars involved, they're almost certain to bring some company along in the accident, and that is exactly what we have seen. They're trying now to actually physically lift Cozy's car off some others to get him going, and look at the action on pit road. Busy, busy place on pit road.
And one man we see there is Danny Johnson.
He was a favorite to win this event. He's still got a good chance. He's not really lost any laps so far. He's about to, though, if they don't get him out fairly soon. Crews are looking at the front of the car, looking at the back of the car, trying to make some adjustments. This is a brand new automobile built exactly and specifically for one race only. Crew chief Billy Taylor sends him off in front of the pace car. Johnson will not lose a lap. He will stay on the lead lap, although he will have to restart this race from the absolute back of the pack. He is at a significant disadvantage going all the way to the back of the pack this early in the event. And you can see the back bumper of that car pushed in. He was clearly involved in the action.
And our race is underway once again as the green flag is out. Hoffman has the lead, but here comes Brett Hearn looking for a pass going into turn 1. He can't quite do it.
I'm surprised Hearn is being as aggressive as he is this early in the race. He knows well that he cannot afford to damage that automobile and still have a chance to win. Got a lot of laps to go yet. Brett Hearn, he is a hungry driver. He said he's had a lousy year, even though he's won 29 races. He says he hasn't won the big ones, and that's what's made it lousy. Right now, he is trying to win the biggest of the big.
Hoffman first, Hearn second. The 126 of Billy Pauch is third. McCready is fourth. Barrett is fifth. And sixth now, the 14J of Alan Johnson. So Alan Johnson has made quite a move from the inside of row number 9.
McCready on your screen right now. He is the defending champion of this event. He has used the same car in 3 different races, including his victorious effort last year. McCready was a very fortunate guy that discovered a leak in the radiator this morning just before the start of the event. Hopefully they have that perfectly plugged up. Better to find it just before the race starts rather